Hi, welcome back to the channel. Right, anybody who's watched this channel from the start will know one of the big challenges I wanted to do was a thing called Man v Coast. I definitely bit off more than I chew. Started okay. We'll see a video in a minute how it started, but this is my This is my video explaining how everything went that day. Okay.
Running into strong headwinds. There's no better way to start a Saturday morning in the British summertime. There we go. Bit of chariots of fire just for the occasion.
Did they bring them along?
No, he's got to go and get it. In the sea, out the sea, he'll have to come back for his bag.
And then freezing in it.
You can hear how cold it is. You listen to the screams.
They're standing, you can't see it.
Just in front of the people in the orange, I think.
Okay, so the Man v Coast was a rat race run. It's a rat race company. The event was based in Cornwall, so I had to travel down the day before. You had to be there by, I think it was 10:30 at night to register. So as a family, we went down the day before. To be honest, all the way down, I was absolutely myself and just really nervous. Pulled up and it was in Penzance Leisure Centre. So I went in and the people were really, really lovely. Really quick registration, just checking a few things, a few free gifts, t-shirt I'd ordered was picked up. So that part, I was quite relaxed after doing that bit. So, you know, anybody that is worried about doing any of these sort of events and think, oh, you know, what are the people going to be like? They're fine, they're really nice, and it was no problem whatsoever. So there are going to be pictures and a few videos explaining what happened on the day. Not as many as I would have possibly done, but because this was my first major race, I just really wanted to concentrate on going around, and basically I didn't really want to have to worry about videoing that. In future races I will be videoing a lot more, but like I said, because that was my first one, I just thought it was better to concentrate. But as I've spoken about it so much on these videos and things like that, I thought it was best to give sort of a feedback on things that had happened. Right, so basically I got to a beach with, I can't remember what the beach is called, it had St. Michael's Mount in the background. Got there about 8:30. I think the first wave went out at 9 o'clock. My wave was, originally it was meant to be the middle one, because there was meant to be one at 9, one at 9:15 and one at 9:30. So I wanted to go out at 9:15. But I think a lack of people, and they moved to like the second wave to 9:20. Now all week and maybe like 10 days before, I was really worried about the weather. I thought, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be boiling hot. And that obviously is a massive concern. I think there was people doing events just this weekend gone, Race of the Stones, and a lot of them pulled out with medical problems, so through heat exhaustion and heart rate and things like that. So I was massively worried about that. I didn't have to worry. Probably with about 3 minutes to go, it came very overcast over the top. I think with minute, say 30 seconds to go, we were told, and the heavens opened. And didn't stop all day. Maybe like a minute, but not really. So I queued up. met a YouTuber that I really like watching, a heavyweight runner. He's a really nice bloke to meet. Got talking to a gentleman in the back who'd asked me if I'd done anything before, and I said no. He looked at my I was crazy, then told me I was crazy. Well, there was more swear words in that. And told me basically if I could do this, I'd be able to do anything. So anyway, 20 past 9, set off. Within 400 meters, you're in the sea. So I was in the sea. I had to go round a sign, back up. I'd already took my bag off to go in the sea, and came back up, got my bag, and ran along the beach. Now this was my first mistake. What I should have done is when I got back to my bag, is got my rainproof jacket out straight away. Like I said, this is for me lots of learning and making mistakes today, and then trying to learn from them in the future. I really should have got that on. I was worried I was going to get too hot and then struggle. That doesn't matter. I'd rather get too hot and take my coat off than what I did on Saturday, which was run really wet. Ran along the beach again, ran along the rest of the beach, into the sea again, and out and back in, same sort of thing. Bit more of the beach running, and then you came to a tunnel, which we all was coming through, and it was stones, and just really felt unsafe, but obviously it wasn't, because we all went through, no one fell down. Then I became my big problem. One of my first big problems was I'm 6'4". We had to climb under a bridge which was about 5 foot. So every time I was trying to get through, I was catching my bag. So in the end, what I did was took my bag off, threw it on through. Then we had to queue up and get out of the river, climb out of the river bank and on the road for the first section, which I was really worried about because there was cut-off points, and it was 10k, and you had like 3 hours. I know 10k in 3 hours seems really doable, but it's quite hard because the hills were quite brutal. But so I got out of the water and thought, right, let's go for it. So in my head, this was going to be the worst part. Obviously because of the hills, I'm still quite big. So this was the section that I was really panicking about. But you know what? It was really good. I think I run my partner, Suzanne, at 20 past 11, and I'd already been in the pit stop, finished the first section, and probably 10-15 minutes down the road before I rung her. So that wasn't too bad. A lot of that was road on the roads, through estates. The only problem I had with this one, I think because of the wind was quite bad, I got lost a few times. The signs, you come to a junction and the sign would be pointing kind of like in between going that way and going that way. Luckily on this one, I only went off one section. I must have probably been about half a K in, and I realised actually this just come to a dead end, turned around and managed to go back. So I was quite happy about that. Like I said, I think I was feeling quite confident by this time. Quite secure, to be fair, probably a bit cocky, thinking I'm going to be able to do this by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, right. So got into like I said, managed to do it all, got into the first pit stop, got myself a packet of crisps. The lady said to me, would you like to just rest for like 5 minutes? I probably should have done. In future, I probably would take those 5-10 minute rests, just shake my legs off a little bit. But I literally just grabbed myself a packet of crisps and set off onto the second pit stop. So, like I said, came out of the first pit stop, started to head towards the second one. And this is when the course basically give me the biggest kicking of my ass ever on my running journey. Like I said, I'm not a massive runner, experienced runner, but this was beyond brutal. This is when you start hitting coastal paths, rocks, you know, you name it, through bushes. It was just brutal. What I found really, really hard was you maybe could run, say, 100 meters, 200 meters, and then you wouldn't be able to run again, and then you look and you just couldn't work out when you were going to be able to run again. So this was, like I said, was really brutal. At the start, I decided not to take walking poles with me. I should have definitely took them with me. I was just worried about weight and things like that with my bag. I think I got into the second checkpoint at probably 2:05, and the cut-off point was 2:00. 2:30, sorry. Luckily, my family met me there. Susanna, my partner, had the walking poles, so I definitely grabbed them. If I'm being honest, I got into the checkpoint a couple of times as the last person, not every time, but a few times I got back there as the last person. I definitely got into the second point as the last person, and they were trying to put the water away. There wasn't much left. I think I managed to grab myself a couple pieces of orange, and a little pack of the Haribos. But all right, I'm not saying I need massive, but I didn't have much choice. So that was kind of disappointing. By this stage, probably 10-15 minutes before I made it to the checkpoint, I suffered serious cramp, which I was trying to cramp. And by this stage, I'd used all my water with my electrolytes in and everything. So I was hoping to get in there, and it was, well, in the end, I was trying to change my top because I was soaking wet. Still, big mistake, didn't put my jacket on afterwards. I wanted to change my socks and everything. And while I was doing that, Suzanne was trying to change the water, and the water had literally been moved. They took Coke away. So that's, like I said, 99% of it was really, really good, but this, for me, was really disappointing. In the end, I was so desperate to get some sugar and that into me that I went up, and there was all the bottles of Coke were being put away. So I just grabbed one and I just necked it, because by this stage I didn't really care. So yeah, so that's I've only got two major gripes about the whole day. I'll get onto the next one later on, but that was disappointing for me. They did come over and wash my legs down and everything because they didn't need the water left, and I left there, I think, at 22 minutes past 2, and that was to head to checkpoint 3. Right, and this now is where my major gripe with it. Obviously I was still on the coastal pass. I felt this bit wasn't marshalled enough. There was an area where I was dropping down. On previous videos that I'd watched, because I'd done a lot of research on it to see what sort of things I could expect, there were marshals on this point. The bit that I dropped, and then I had to climb up the other side, if I'd slipped and fell, I think you're probably looking at 150 to 200 foot drop straight into the sea. So I just felt that there definitely should have, in my opinion, should have been a marshal there. They had marshals on the bits of the road where you were crossing the road, and let's be fair, we're all adults, so we all know, I understand, maybe have someone there, but maybe move that person then straight on, or someone to that mountain point. We're all adults, like I said, and we all know how to cross the road. And the real dangerous bit where we needed maybe some support, there wasn't anybody there. So that's my major gripe. I do generally, okay, you had a GPS thing on you, but that's not going to help you if you fell down the side of a cliff. And at the other side, once again, I think major learning point as well. I think what I should have done is when I've got to the checkpoint, I forgot my calf sleeves, and I think if I brought them with me, I would have put them on, and that would have definitely helped with the cramp. So like I said, it's all learning for me. I just basically, this event was just to get through it. Managed, when I was climbing up the other side, I think I must have slid that down about 3-4 times because it was just cramping and cramping. So I managed to sit on the side of the hill, stretch my foot out, made sure I got plenty of water in me. I maybe took 3-4 minutes, and then I managed to get up. Like I said, it was just massively brutal for me. I think it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done, especially, you know, maybe I would say probably from about 10k to about 35k. You know, I just felt I just didn't get any momentum. And then the problem was, I think the further you got on in the day, you got more tired as well, climbing the rocks and things like that. So it was more mental. Like I said, I understand now what people will say when they say it's more about mental running. It's more in your head because, like I said, that was impossible. So I felt it was impossible, but obviously I've got it done. But it was just, I don't know. I think trail running is completely different, and now I understand what people say when they say trail running. Trail runners are a completely different animal. So that was really hard. But like I said, it was just climbing, and like I said, it was the rock climbing and the cramp and everything. Obviously with this event as well, there was meant to be a lot of stuff going on in the sea. You were meant to be jumping off cliffs, bodyboards out and things like that. How bad the weather was, that was all cancelled. I didn't actually see anybody jump, but my partner was there and she watched them. I think they let, well, you've got to imagine, I think each wave had between 350 to 400 people, and the first 30 people, 25, 30 people, she said, were the only people that are allowed out, because basically you got to check, I think you've got to the checkpoint, been given a life jacket, and then you had to go and jump off. So basically that was it. None of the sea events were available, apart from the first bit where we ran out and ran back in. Everything else was really, really too dangerous to do, because like I said, the weather was brutal, which was disappointing for me, because I think that's all part of the experience. But I do understand that safety comes first. I've just been told by my partner that the bodyboard people were doing it, but by the time I got there, because obviously I was very much near the end, I don't know really what happened with my tracker, because it just went all over the place. But I definitely finished it, as you'll see in the pictures at the end. No, by the time I got there, it was not safe enough to do it, and they weren't happy about people going into war. To be fair, I suppose, if I'm brutally honest, I probably wouldn't have gone into the sea at that stage because of the cramp. I didn't really fancy going out in the sea and having cramp. So the vertical mile, going uphill, nightmare. And then I finally finished. I think I took it, I think I'd done probably 20 to 5 o'clock at night, which was probably about half hour longer than what I wanted to take. Originally when the day started, to be honest, by the end of this time, I was just glad to get finished. We've got a picture, I'll put him up at the end. You'll also see in a minute how the day ended when I got home. I just basically, I was broken. You know, there was loads of areas to sit down. You got a token for a free ice cream. You got the photo, obviously the photo, I'll put the photo up in a minute, and things like that. but I just wanted to get home. I just wanted to get home because, like I said, I generally feel broken. So I got in the car, went and got something to eat, and then 4 hours back home. And then my recovery that week was terrible. That night time I had terrible cramps. I drunk electrolytes all day. Probably drunk, I would probably say about 5 litres of water with electrolytes. I don't know if that's enough. Clearly it wasn't enough. Or if people would say, well, no, usually that would be enough. I wasn't feeling too bad on the Sunday, quite like I said, quite stiff. And the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Wednesday for me, for a problem, I think I've got a chest infection as well. Like I said, I don't think I ate enough running around. That's advice if anybody's out there. Do you struggle to eat when you're going around? Because I really struggle to have anything, and it's maybe not. That's one of my problems as well. But I kind of feel sick, so I'm getting gels and things like that. But they're not perfect. And then probably I think more feeling myself by the Tuesday. Finally had a good night's sleep, and then back running park run Saturday in the heat, which made me more glad that last weekend the day was a bit. I don't think it was a perfect day, but I think I'd rather definitely run in the rain than what the heat we were trying to run in at park run. That was only 5k Saturday. So that's the video. I hope people find it interesting. Like I said, really good event. It's the very last one. I don't think I would run it again anyway, because I don't think it's a run. It's more of a hike, I would say. That's my opinion. The first bit and maybe the last bit are a run, but the second one is very, very difficult. But like I said, all experience, and obviously I was very broken at the end, and you'll see the video now. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully if you like it, you can like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye bye.